This is Strong and Sassy. My name is Nashako, and I'm your host. We're on till 8 p.m. talking about all the things that we girls love to talk about. We do this every Wednesday, by the way. We gather around 7 p.m. sharp and we discuss, we talk. We speak the truth about the things that we often won't say or talk about in public to each other and one another, because we find safety in the company of us ladies, because we can advise each other, because we can learn from each other, and most importantly, Charlie, whatever we do without an outlet to just pour it all out. So that's what we do on the show, and we're happy that you are listening, and we're even happier that you contribute. You can reach us via WhatsApp on 0244 340 437, 0244 340 437. And of course, I will definitely activate the phone lines and I'll announce the number then so that you can call. And may I say, we appreciate all the men who call and text in. It's great to know you're listening. So on this show, we don't only talk about girls and boys and this and that. We also talk about our lives, outside marriage and relationships. We talk about our lives at the workplace. We talk about our lives and the law. We talk about medicine. We talk about our health. We talk about our kids and everything in between. Today, we're going to be talking about a blend of two things: our emotions and work. So women are generally perceived as more emotional. Whether or not that is true, that's a topic for another day. But being the so-called more emotional gender or sex, how are we able to effectively manage our emotions in the place of work? I personally feel very sad when I hear colleagues say that, oh, don't mind her, she's just hormonal. Oh, don't mind her, she's just an overly emotional person. Or when you genuinely want to talk about something at work, or you're passionate about something, you have colleagues actually asking you if it's the time of the month, or if you're pregnant, or if something, it's always about our emotions and hormones. And that kind of sucks a little bit. I don't know how you feel about it. But hey, today, I'd like us to talk about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence to start with? I mean, how are you able to, are you able to identify your emotions, you yourself? Are you able to manage your emotions at work? Are you able to manage the emotions of other people? How are you able to build trust and influence by managing your emotions and the emotions of other people at work? That's what we're talking about today, emotional intelligence. And my friends are here, by the way, as always. And we're going to get talking. You can join us on 0244 340 437. I'd love to hear from you. Emotional intelligence and women and work. Wecha Marian Lisa Adinku, our favorite guest on the show, is here. Wecha is a marketing executive with an FMCG. Yes. And she's here to share. Wecha, what's up?
How are you now?
Charlie, I bezo.
I can tell how I met you. I can tell that you
Yes. I base. And I love the ombre with the lips ombre.
Oh, thank you. I'm learning from you.
Me, Ashoko. Charlie, wait, if you're learning from me, you'll be wearing very nude lipstick. In fact, no lipstick at all, just lip gloss. Charlie, no. I've not stopped my SS life. Nude all the way. Also here in the building, Oforiwa is here. Oforiwa is a public health administrator. Fofo, as I like to call her.
Hi, Nah.
How are you?
I'm good.
And it's great to have you on the show.
Always.
We'll be joined shortly by Felicity. She's stuck in traffic, but she's on her way. So, we're talking about emotional intelligence, guys. When was the first time you heard about emotional intelligence, Wicha?
My first job after my master's at a telecommunication company. That's the first time I heard emotional intelligence.
How did it come up?
It came up because, from I want to use the world I'm from. It is a very strange term to use, but I grew up on campus, went to school on campus, lived my whole life on campus, was a research assistant on campus. So that shift into like the corporate world and meeting all kinds of people, having different thoughts, having different experience, all trying to be successful and hitting heads together. Maybe I may not have handled it in the best way possible. So that's the first time I had emotional intelligence.
Someone told you that you ought to be emotionally
yes,
intelligent.
I need to, and manage people.
And manage people.
Exactly.
Okay.
People's emotions.
Oforiwa, how about you?
Okay, so that was about 4 years ago, not long after I started my current job. And so it was organized for all managers, emotional intelligence, a short training on emotional intelligence. That's the first time I heard about it.
You heard about it at a training?
Yeah.
Huh. Imagine that. Wow. Do you think we know enough about it? Oh, okay. So what do you know about it? You attended a training program on it. So what is it?
So basically, emotional intelligence has to do with being self-aware of your emotions and being self-aware of other people's emotions, understanding why people behave the way they do, thereby influencing how you know how to manage your emotions at the right place, the right time, the right situation, to the right person.
Okay, that's very academic. Break it down.
So you have to be aware of the reason why people behave the way they do. So somebody walks into the office with a frown and they're quick to judge.
Yeah.
You need to be aware that first of all you are judging.
Okay.
You need to be aware of your own emotion first, and then try to understand the emotion behind the person being upset, walking in upset. You get it? So you are thinking, okay, the person has a family, the person has kids, or the person has a baby, probably hasn't slept the whole night. So you need to think around those things. That influences how you then speak to the person and say, okay, well, can I speak to you privately? And then you say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sure you had a rough night, I'm sorry, but we need to work on this. Instead of going all ballistics on the person. Yeah.
Okay. Which, how do you understand
I
it?
totally agree, but then I would say emotional intelligence is the patience we use to handle ups and downs of life, like life situations. That's how we say emotional intelligence. Even though there are more academic definitions to it, the layman just trickling down, emotional intelligence is the patience you use to address your emotions. So that's how I would define emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence really shows itself in critical situations, in situations that tragedy, not being able to accomplish a goal, the way people talk back at you, the way you talk to them, they really show themselves in conflict situations. So that's when you'll be able to tell if you're emotionally intelligent or not.
Do you mind sharing your experience? I mean, when it first came up for you?
Okay, when it first came out for me, I think it came out for me it was difficult for me to be emotionally stable because of this. Yes, it was difficult. So how did it come out for me? Let me just answer the question straight up. I think it came up for me in managing my superiors. That's how it came out for me. It came out for me managing my superiors and in getting reviews about my work. Okay. That's how it came up for me. In managing my superiors, it was more of maybe because I thought I was intelligent. I thought. Life taught me I wasn't. Because I thought I was intelligent, I used to be heads on heads with some of my superiors on how things should be done. And when a review is given, criticism is given on my work, I may not have handled it in the best way I should have. And also working with my colleagues in accepting their views and accepting the way they think, or the criticisms I get, I didn't handle it in the best way possible. And also letting my emotion, my personal life at home or in relationships affect my work.
Is it possible really to separate, because we're human beings, and however we try to be professional when we get to work, the things that happen in our personal lives, can affect us.
It can, but it's possible to separate it. It's really possible to separate your personal life from your work life.
I see. Yeah, yes, separating your personal life from your work life.
Like
yes.
not bringing your emotions.
Your feelings, the way you feel, in your personal life. So your boyfriend breaks up with you and you're so sad. And
no, what is emotional intelligence? It's the patience you use to address a situation. Patience. So being aware of your emotions, being aware of what has happened to you and how you should respond to it is what is emotional intelligence. So there's a way, if you are aware of it, and I think it doesn't happen, it's a skill. Emotional intelligence is a skill. You need to develop the skill. It's different from your personality. It's different from your IQ. This is something that you would have to notice and develop. And everybody can be emotionally intelligent.
Yeah. Which, for you agree, you can separate your personal emotions?
Realistically, is difficult. But being emotionally intelligent helps you to consciously suppress your emotion.
That doesn't sound right. It sounds twisted.
Okay, maybe suppress is not the right word, but to deal with it in a better way than you normally would have. So it's like she said, it's a skill that you need to learn, you need to develop, you need to grow it by reading more about it, and then understanding people's experiences in dealing with emotional intelligence, generally in the workplace especially. Yeah.
Okay, so let's come down to the basics. I mean, for someone hearing about this for the first time and is looking to develop this awesome skill, which you both have described this as a skill. I mean, how do you start? You've talked about, how do you call it, identifying your own emotions and being aware of them. I believe we all think that we know how we're feeling, or we all are aware of how we are feeling. And you know that I'm broke, and we all haven't been paid. So you can't come and stress me. I saw this thing on social media at the beginning of the year, what people were forwarding messages about 2019 and what we will not do. I don't know if you guys saw it. There are three things you can't do to me this year. 1, you cannot stress me. 2, you cannot come and stress me. And 3, you cannot go and come and stress me. So with all the issues people are handling, people feel that you cannot come and stress them, especially at work. Salaries are delayed. A lot of people are out of work nowadays. A lot of people have family, friends, spouses who are out of work because of the banking crisis. Look, there are things happening. People are hot, right now. Arguably. So, it might be difficult for people to come to work and be able to manage their emotions and all of that, especially for us women. I say women because this is a women's show and this is a women's platform, and it's important for us women to be able to develop this skill that both of you have spoken about. So how do you start? How do you even...
Okay, for when you are talking about women, it's interesting that I had discussions with a few of my colleagues today, and the men were saying that women are more emotionally intelligent in the workplace. And I spoke to people who had done full-time courses on emotional intelligence, and it's basically because women and society allows women to be emotional and to express themselves. So women with time they use it a lot, so they learn to manage it. Men, on the other hand, are not very good at their emotions. They don't even know what they are feeling because they are not allowed to express it. So throughout most of their lives, most men come up thinking that, okay, I'm not allowed to cry, and stuff like that. With time, women learn to manage their emotions before they even enter the workforce. But men now have to manage it, and then the next thing you realize, they are suppressing their anger, they are suppressing their issues, and the day that they flare up, it's a whole explosion. So you were talking about women and men. So
someone just Nancy who's listening to us just sensed this. She says men are the worst at managing their emotions. Men aren't very good with their emotions. They can't even manage it. They act tough, but they usually become very emotionally broken. And that happens a lot. Okay. 0244340437 is a number to reach us on WhatsApp. 0244340437. Wisha?
Well, I do not want to emphasize on if men or women are emotional because we are all different creatures. But I think emotional intelligence is learned also through focus. I mean, one thing I have learned about myself I could share is that, you know, when you have a focus or you have a vision or you have a plan, maybe in your corporate life, because corporate politics really does bring out your emotional intelligence, how to deal with people in the world brings out your emotional intelligence. But when you have a focus, when you have a plan for your life, or there's somewhere you want to get to, that is when you highlight on your emotional intelligence. That's when you are able to figure out who is your ally, who is your enemy, who the root of why people do things. So when you understand the root of why people do things in the corporate world, I'm emphasizing on corporate world because that is what's big for me now. Yeah. So when you see what is going on, the root of people's behavior in the corporate world and the political game that is being played, you're able to see, you are able to learn about emotional intelligence, learn about your emotion, and figure it one by one.
Okay, so Wisha said something that's very important, I think. You say you have to identify your allies, you have to know who's for you, who's against you, and all of that.
That's all about emotional intelligence. In the corporate world, there's emotional intelligence for the family, there's emotional intelligence dealing with friendship, there's emotional intelligence for the corporate world.
Okay. So you're saying that in corporate, I mean, for those of us who are in the corporate world, for those of you who are in the corporate world, you need to, you first of all, when you enter your office, you should be able to look around, assess people and the way they relate to you and with other people, to know who your people are, know who are in your corner, know who are against you,
and smile with all of them.
Expatiate, please. I want to hear.
I must tell you the first time it occurred to me that that's how it is. It was like I couldn't do this at all. Like, I am not that conniving. I am not that. I'm black and white. But life is not black and white. There's a lot of gray. So you have to learn these things in life. So expatiating on this, I would say that it's just like life. When you want something from somewhere or you have a vision as to where you are going to go, you can't treat if your enemy can help you, or if somebody who dislikes you can help you, you can't treat them like you don't like them too. You get what I mean? Because these are the same people who will hold your hand to go somewhere. So you have to intelligently know who doesn't like you, why they don't like you, and figure it out, and how you can still work with them and smile and get to what you want.
Why you disagree?
On a few parts, basically, I would say that yes, be aware of your environment, but not necessarily putting them into allies and foes, basically.
But that's what it is.
That is life. Like, how can you not have allies and foes?
When it comes to emotional intelligence, it's more about, okay, how can I win people into my camp?
Why do you need a camp?
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not. I don't think that it's about separating people into allies and foes, but it's about winning people into your camp regardless. Because somebody can smile with you and chat with you, and you will never know that the person really doesn't like you.
That is what emotional intelligence helps you in the corporate world, because you are able to, because you study it so much, you're able to figure it out. So figure who is on your side and not.
My point. So basically, it's about winning people into your court. So you are trying to emotionally be aware of each person around you, being consciously aware of this particular person. Why does that person behave the way they do? So what I did was I pick each human being. I start from what kind of schools did they go to? What kind of environments did they grow up in? What's their exposure? What kind of, what's the highest level of education they have? All those things give me an idea. What's their religion? What are their general beliefs? That way I know where to hit you from to win you into my camp.
Doesn't it smack of a lot of pretense, really?
You see, the first time you hear it, the first time you hear it, it's a lot of pretense. You don't even, you would never, it will take you a while to understand why people live such lives. Like, even though emotional intelligence is a bigger picture, I must say again, we're just talking about the corporate life because I brought it up. Yeah. It will make you wonder why you have to live like that. But a life in school is different from a life at work. And a life at work is very complicated. And you need to figure out based on your emotions need to help you figure out who and who is. And it's not pretense. It's just work.
Yeah, you don't have to be friends to work together. Like she was saying, you have a focus.
Yeah.
How do you achieve that focus? How do you achieve that target? So you're trying to win everybody in your team into your camp so that they can all focus on what the target is.
So let me ask you guys this. If you're all in the office trying to emotionally manage everybody, you know, everybody's trying to be emotionally intelligent. So everybody is doing groupings. Okay, these people are for me. These people aren't for me. These are the people I need to win over. I'm going to do A, B, C, D to win them over. And all of us are in there doing that. Won't we create some kind of a toxic environment? I mean, everybody's trying to manage. Can't we just be free and just work together and have a cool, chill working environment where we know this person is angry today, she's not fine?
Like what I was saying, life is not black and white.
It's lots of grays.
We wish it was that simple.
It's lots of grays because
Life
everybody
is not
doesn't have the
black
kind
and
of
white.
mind you have. Everybody does not have the kind of heart you have. So that's when you need to accept that people are all different. And based on that, you don't allow people's difference to stop you from gaining to gain your goal. And based on that, it's just based on your goal, what you want to achieve. It's different if you don't have a goal. It's different if you don't have a vision. You don't have a plan, and you just want to go to work all happy-go-lucky all the time. It's up to you. But you know, even those who are happy-go-lucky will have people not liking them because the people who do not like them are very sad people, and they don't like the other person being happy. You get what I mean? So the happy-go-lucky has to say, okay, so this person does not like me. Go deal down and say, okay, maybe this person does not like me because she's actually very sad. So maybe that's why I have to deal with her in a different way.
Charlie,
But let me even bring it to a point. I mean, let me bring it to another point.
Okay.
It hits me when, like, I was reading the Bible sometime. I can't tell you a specific verse, but I realized that, you know, God will ask certain people, act like this, do like this, do this. Like even I'm trying to remember Queen Esther. Is it's Queen Esther? Sorry, it's Queen Esther. When she was trying to make her people. Who doesn't remember the Queen Esther story?
I don't know.
That she needed to fast for
us.
she needed to fast for certain days. Are you serious, guys? She needed to fast for certain days because her uncle told her that they are going to kill your people if you don't fast for certain days. So she fasted for certain days with her people. Then she prepared her husband, the king, a meal. You get what I mean? They prepared her king a meal. She knew that her people were going to be killed by another man. You get what I mean? So she needed to emotionally prepare herself and address her husband in a certain way. There are lots of stories in the Bible that you see that God will tell them that act this way, act this way, act this way to get what you want. So emotional intelligence it's actually a cultural thing that we have to learn as we grow up.
To act in the way that will enable you get what you want. Does the size of the organization matter? Is this more prevalent in bigger organizations, so where you have so many people to manage or so many people to work with?
No, I think it's more involving in smaller teams.
Okay.
So if you have like it's easier to manage people in smaller groups. So when you go into an organization, you have the CEO, but then you have like deputy chief executives, and then you have like directors and then managers. So there's somebody managing a smaller group, and then there's somebody managing a smaller group. That way it's easier to get everybody on board. For the training I had, it had to do with a smaller group of people. So let's say 10, 15, maximum 30 people. You are trying to figure out why they behave the way they behave, and then use that in a way to get them to focus on their target. So it's not about liking you as an individual. It's about, okay, how can we get this goal achieved?
So basically, you have a goal, whatever it takes to get everybody in the emotional state of mind. I don't know, to get everybody to feel good about delivering on the goal
Thank you.
and get it done.
Yes,
Exactly.
because you can actually go to workplaces and somebody sees you and like, no, I'm going to make sure I cut this person down in every corner. And they're not going to do it in your face. They are doing it at the behind the scenes. And now sometimes you can work up to 5 years in an organization and not know who is doing that to you. They are the ones who be smiling with you the most, and they are the ones who be eating from the same plate with you in the office. So your aim is not necessarily to get everybody to like you as an individual. Yours is, okay, how can you put your emotions in check so we can all achieve this target?
I see. 0244340437 is the number you can reach us on via WhatsApp. 0244340437. Nikwesi Ama says, good healthy evening to you and your panel. Your ability to manage your impression and perception in relation and correlation to significant others' behavioral patterns. Going outside the what is this?
He's saying basically the same thing.
Nikwesi Ama, thank you very much for your question. All right, thanks for your contribution. I appreciate it. Don't mind me. Bill says, now I'm just imagining getting home to see my wife with another man on our matrimonial bed, and you tell me because emotional something is a skill, it won't affect me at work. Like, seriously? That's from Nana. Now, I think from what one of the ladies is saying, it's not emotional intelligence. Rather, it's emotional artificialism. Because you are not being yourself. Rather, something else to please your colleagues. And that's from Bill. What do you think? Do you think that there are some happenings in people in our lives that can emotionally scar us so much so that we cannot be emotionally intelligent, at work or wherever? You shouldn't be calling me on the number that I just advertised, guys. Please stop calling. It's just for messaging, okay? Thank you so much. So just text us. So are there some situations like that, Is it unrealistic?
Okay.
To expect that people will
from a scientist's point of view,
yes,
there's a part of the brain that deals with emotions, and there's a part of the brain that deals with logic.
Okay.
So, when you get upset or you flare up over a big issue, the part of the brain that deals with emotions now takes over the whole activity of the brain.
Okay.
So becoming aware, you're telling yourself, okay, I'm angry. I know I'm angry because of this. That's the self-awareness we keep talking about. Being aware that you're angry. Telling yourself, I'm angry.
But can you
because
ever
of this.
not be aware that you're angry and why you are angry?
No, some people are upset, but they don't remind themselves that I'm angry, so I'm not supposed to do this. They end up they call it the rage. They end up doing crazy things, and then they finish and like, what just happened? Yes, that's what happens a lot of the time when you just blurt out stuff when you're upset, and then you come back and like, what did I just do? So
does it happen to you?
It happens to people a lot.
I said you.
It used to happen to me, but I think with time I started learning to manage myself in those situations.
Is it something that just comes as you mature? I mean, is it something you must be intentional about, that okay, now let me be emotionally intelligent?
You need to be conscious.
Or it's just something that will come as you grow?
No, like she was saying, it's a skill. So it's a conscious thing. You need to put in effort to develop it with time and with situations. And the more experience you have with it, the more you are able to.
In the workplace, which would you put above the other? Emotional intelligence or intellectual intelligence?
Well, but for me, it's definitely emotional intelligence, because our relationships with people is extremely important. And people would say no to you even though you're super intelligent, because they can't work with you and can't communicate with you. So emotional intelligence is number one, more than intellectual intelligence or any form of IQ.
So
okay.
A colleague of mine told me today, like, have you not had a lot of situations where they say, oh, this guy, he's very good at his job,
but he gets
this guy, he's really good. Like, when you give it to him, he would finish within 5 minutes. But
let me tell you something. I had somebody once told me that, Wacha, I would prefer to hire an undergraduate who can easily deal with people, work with people, than a PhD holder who doesn't know how to work with people. So human relations is extremely important, and that is like the critical part of your life, of your build up. So yeah, IQ is low.
Okay. Good evening, ladies. I think that whenever there is anger, we should be reminded of whatever we should say or the way we should react. We shouldn't also forget that no one can be like us. Hence, wondering why people behave in an unacceptable manner. And that's from Joseph, texting us from Tema Community 9. Okay, I think both of you mentioned that also. All right. Okay, Nikwesi has... is that the same? Yeah, it's the same message. Thank you for sending that in. Wow, now I'm doing exactly what your panelists are saying. I am smiling and trying to work with people. I really know they dislike me. I quarrel with them sometimes, though. Their thinking and their way of doing things is different from mine. But I'm praying, working with them now. Nice topic. Hi to you all. Well done. If yeah, good evening. Thank you for sending that in. 0244 340 437 0244 340 437. Here's a message that says that is emotional intelligence only at the workplace? How do women deal with their partners and their children at home? Do you need emotional intelligence to deal with your partner?
Yeah, I said there's emotional intelligence for workplace. There's emotional intelligence for family and dealing with your friends. So yes, emotional intelligence is all round. It's a cultural something.
So wherever can you just be yourself and flare up? You can't be yourself and flare up in your house.
You see,
with your partner. You can't do it at work. You can't do it with your girlfriend.
No, I don't know what you mean by about being yourself.
Okay.
Because I like personality.
As you have said, it's emotional intelligence is knowing identifying your emotions and managing them, identifying the other person's emotions and managing them, and let it all come together to help you achieve your goal.
Yes.
So if you are going to be managing at work,
you manage your whole life.
At home.
Why would you want to be shouting everywhere you go?
But where so you can never, can we never just
maybe in the bathroom?
No. So like there are outliers. There are certain times you flare up, but then how you treat people in general is very important to your life. How you interact with people is very important to your life. So emotional intelligence is not something that you do at once. It's not something that is already learned in the classroom. It goes beyond classroom too. The culture we live in must teach us about emotional intelligence. It must teach us that when we are going through a tragic situation, we acknowledge that we are going through a tragic situation, but accepts that this is life. And life has troubles, and move on and be excited. Have some stupid kind of happiness in life. You get what I mean? That even though you are going through all these problems, you are still happy, because people have the ability to, when tragic situations happen, they just go down and fall into depression. I think emotional intelligence helps you manage depression.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there times, where you ought not manage your emotions? There's somebody in the office who's playing the fool because they're playing the fool. You don't have to manage. Do you always have to manage it? At that time, when you could just call people out, and just let them know, do you always have to manage them?
Okay.
Doesn't
Definitely.
it allow for people to, doesn't it give room for people to take advantage and misbehave?
Emotional intelligence is not about being
Pretending.
no,
Totally.
It's not about pretending, and it's not about letting people get away with stuff that they do. No, not at all. It's just making sure that you're telling the person, case on point. This is exactly what happened. This is how it should be done. And not going beyond and say it is because your mother in the village did this, and it's because you didn't go to this training, or it's because you've never done this before, you've never traveled outside the country, that's why stuff like that. So it's not letting people get away with things. No, far from that. It's just making sure that once you're having a conversation with the person in the corporate environment, like she's saying, you are having it based on the work and putting every emotion of yours aside. You are thinking in your head
of yours and of theirs
aside.
Yes, but how realistic is that? Knowing that
you can address a situation. I don't run away from conflict. I really do address conflict, because I feel like you have to cut the problem from the root. Because once you give somebody the opportunity too much, some people say strike one, strike two, strike three. I don't believe in that. I believe it solve the problem from the roots. So for me, my strategy is that when you do something to me and I've observed that maybe you are belittling me, or you think because I'm young, you get what I mean, or something like that, that's why you are behaving the way you are, that's undermining me as a person, I would address this as it is. I will call you out, have a very honest conversation with you. I think you did this because of so and so. I'm not upset. Maybe I may be upset about what you've done, but I want us to talk about it. That I always go in like that, and after, when I do that, it's not that I'm going to frown with you, but I always smile you. I'll see you the next day, have a joke with you, smile with you. But once you have addressed it in a very polite manner, there are some people that will just go uproar. How can you talk to me like that? You should know that those people are not emotionally intelligent, and those people are maybe are suffering from depression or have problems at home. So you realize it for what it is. You realize it for what it is, and you get what, because you have the knowledge they don't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
0302216541 is the number to call me on. Have you been in a situation where you feel that perhaps you could have handled it better, or you feel that you weren't being very emotionally intelligent, or you want to share, or you have questions? We'll be happy to try and attempt to answer. 0302216541 0302216541. All right. Ezekiel says, emotional intelligence is the ability to be aware of your emotions. Okay, all right. I think I read that earlier. But then he adds, the aim of displaying emotional intelligence is not a form of manipulation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there a thin line between emotional intelligence and manipulation?
Yes, there is. If you are not careful, now you are taking advantage of the people's emotions that you have taken time to identify against them. There's a very thin line, and if you are not careful, you start manipulating your colleagues.
What's wrong with manipulation?
It's not.
It's a negative word, so
is manipulation really negative? I mean, if in attempting to sell you a product, even in attempting to sell you a product, I mean, we appeal to the things that we know, affect you in a certain way. Even if you're buying a scratch card. The way they sell the scratch card to you, even if you don't need it, sometimes you feel like, oh, I think I need a scratch card. I mean, we are manipulated every day. I mean, we know that women love makeup. So, for example, when there's a women's event, that's where we want to come and pitch and sell creams that will not do anything for them.
Why would you phrase that as manipulation?
Because manipulation is subtle control, knowing something about someone and using that information to control the way they behave is manipulation, isn't it? Yeah. But is that a bad thing?
Good.
For an intended good. Okay.
For an intended good.
Manipulation, and I'm sure your audience will kill me for saying this, but manipulation, seduction, and coercion, I think it's all in the same area. But the reason why there are different words for each, because they all bring out certain emotions out of people. You get what I mean? So if you are being, I don't think you should use manipulation for somebody coercing you to purchase a product. Manipulation is when it's clearly you are totally unaware of what the person is trying to do to you. Mm-hmm. And then you find out this is what yes, it's an evil act, because it goes against it goes against your personal values to do that thing. You get what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. A conscience like
I don't know.
Did you just tell the audience I have a conscience and I'm an angel? Tell them I'm an angel too.
Too much of a conscience.
but really, I'm just wondering, guys. If you know, please call me. Call us 0302216541. Is manipulation a bad thing at all? Is it bad to manipulate people? I mean, is it bad to control people based on what you know about them to get them to behave in a certain way for a good? Titi's on the line from Ashaiman. Hello, Titi.
Good evening.
Hi, Titi. Good evening.
I'm cool. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for calling.
You coined just something. You say emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And then, yes, this is a nice way to say you want us to appear much matured, right?
Yeah,
when
in a
somebody
way.
is kind of doing something towards you don't like, you will be forced to appear intelligent by keeping calm or cooling your emotions, whether positive or negative. Now, in the line of doing that, if you don't take care, the world around you will be, should I say, maligning or taking you for granted. So
Okay.
you should also read through the lines. As and when need be, you shake yourself small for the world to know that you can bite or you can cool.
You have to shake yourself small.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I'm
Titi.
speaking in Proverbs too.
Thank you so much. Titi says that, look, it's not all the time you have to be mature about it. Sometimes you have to shake yourself small.
You can even shake yourself in maturity.
Ezekiel is on the line. Hello, Ezekiel.
Hello.
Hi, Ezekiel. You're live.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I just sent a message earlier. Basically, my understanding of emotional intelligence is a way for you to be able to achieve a common or a collective goal, whichever setup you find yourself to be, it at your workplace, be it at home, within a family setup, or anything at all. Yes, you might want to say there's a thin line between emotional intelligence and being able to manipulate, but be aware that the aim for you to be aware of some other person's emotions is in order for you to achieve that goal and not to use that as a form of manipulation or something.
All right, Ezekiel, thank you so much for sharing. 0302-216-541 is the number to call us on. Agbeto says, now I'm really enjoying the program. There's a lady in my office, to be sincere with you, I loved her wholeheartedly, but I realized that she is, in capitals, a pretender. When I got to know about it, seriously, I was disappointed. And as soon as I remember her for that, I feel hurt. Envy, she always has her teeth on. All right. Thank you for sending that in. So, like, she's always smiling, but she's a pretender. What's a pretender, by the way? Maybe she's just trying to manage her emotions. Hello, now. It's all about being tactful, geared towards achieving a goal. If we all become more emotionally intelligent, we'll be preventing a lot of negative conflicts. Example, a driver's mate and passenger fighting all the time, and that's from Ni Kwesi Ama. Thank you for sending that in. Now, sometimes emotions overwhelms us. If I must vent on, I will. Control is good, but don't think not venting at a point you must. But don't you think that venting at a point you must amounts to keeping up appearances? Emotional intelligent or not, man must be real. Oh, I can't come and kill myself. And that's from Ike from KTU. Dan is on the line from Joapong. Hello, Dan.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Dan. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for calling us. You're live.
Yeah. Good evening, madam.
Yes, Dan. Good evening. What would you like to share with us?
Yeah, sometimes let's be realistic. Yeah, sometimes you make the other person aware of what he or she is doing, but the person will tell you that is how he or she is made up to be. So you can't do anything about it. So what do you do in this case? Each time you confront her with the thing, he or she will just tell you that is how he or she is.
That's how I am. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Dan, again, texting us from somewhere in Accra, says, true emotional intelligence is very broad. It doesn't involve pretense or just managing your emotions and people's emotions too. It involves knowing when to be yourself and flare up, and also knowing when to control your emotions. Manipulation is not emotional intelligence. And that's from Dan, texting us from Accra. Thomas is on the line from Asawa. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, sweetie. Good evening.
Hi, sweetie. Good evening. You're live.
Yes. Do you know why I call you sweetie?
No, I don't know why.
Because some of you, the ladies, when we see you in the office, wherever, and we see that you are emotional and we want to tap you and encourage you, you don't agree. So
you want to do what? You want to tap and encourage?
Yes, I thought we'll just smile and
what,
then...
What do you mean tap? Tap how?
No, just, sweetie, this morning I see that you are not feeling fine. What is wrong?
But why would you be calling your work colleague sweetie, by the way?
Oh, yes. From 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, that's where we are.
Do you call your male colleague sweetie?
Yes. I even call my subordinate darling.
Is he a boy, a man, or a woman?
No, the thing is
he a man or a woman?
Come again.
Is he a man or is it a man or a woman?
No, I'm a man.
And your subordinate is
No, I have female children, and I have female grandchildren. When I see your face and you are not in a good mood, I just say that, oh, see, what is wrong? But look, you, the woman, you should be attached to the men.
Sorry?
I say, ladies, be attached to the men.
Attached how?
Just make friends. Because we know your emotions.
You don't have any?
No. We have. But that's why I say that you, the ladies, attach to the men, and the men will attach to the ladies.
I don't understand the attachment, I'm a little confused. Can you explain?
Yeah,
further?
what I'm saying is, when I am annoyed, or when I come to the office and my emotions is high, it's the ladies who cool me down. Oh, Tommy, today I go. And we do the ladies, it is we the men who see it. But at times you get emotional. I don't want to talk. Why don't you want to talk? You see, let's build a relationship both at home and at work.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you. John is calling us from Tema. Hello, John.
Yes.
Hi, John. John, can you please turn down the volume on your radio set?
I want to make my contribution.
Yes, please.
Now, what happens is that
Hello, John.
Christian mind,
Okay.
we human beings, we have vibrations. These vibrations are in the form of noises or words which come into our brain. Now, it will happen that you meet somebody, and then he will react. He will act against you, and then you see you hear a voice within you, in your mind, telling you that beat him, crush him. Don't listen to that voice. You see, as a Christian, God has put power within you to overcome that issue, so that it is for you to control yourself. And then after some time, you see that the power of Christ in you will enable you to come out with a loving word, which will bring that person.
All right. Thank you so much, John from Tema. I think the call dropped. Sorry about that. But thank you for sharing. You are our last caller for today. And why don't the girls call? This is a women's show. Like, the girls don't call. Where are you, ladies? All right. Kojo says, hey, this grandpa, I don't trust you, sweetie pa. Hey. Oh, it's a very friendly sweetie. No harm intended. No harm intended at all. All right, so we have exactly 5 minutes to wrap up the show, ladies. Finally, I mean, for someone who's hearing about this for the first time, or for people who are still very confused about it, what will be your final words to them? I mean, you have 2 minutes each. How can we master, the art of emotional intelligence, and how does it inure to our benefit at the end of the day?
Okay, so I would say that especially for us women who are always categorized as being emotional, and hey, today, why is it the Red Sea you're crossing today? Why are you so emotional and stuff like that? It's important that for us to get extremely high in leadership positions, we need to develop this. There's a lot of literature out there you can read on. Even when you Google, you find a lot about emotional intelligence. There are videos on YouTube on how to develop emotional intelligence. It's important to learn about these things, not just in the corporate world, but in the home environment. That way you know what mood your children are in and why they behave the way they do, and you yourself being aware of what you are doing at every point in time, consciously being aware and managing the way you are behaving. I think it's healthy to flare up every once in a while, but do it at the right place and to the right person. At the right time. Those things are really important.
At the end of the month when they've been paid and they won't get too angry.
Exactly. You need to be, it's very important to know where to flare up and know how to manage your emotions. Please, it's very important.
Thank you for your Wecha.
It's taken me a very long time to learn emotional intelligence, so I can connect with people who flare up a lot. Even though I flare up privately to my family. But then I think we should, first of all, women should be able to hold themselves. Like, love themselves, take care of themselves, and take care of their emotions, and understand the root of their emotions. Once they understand the root of their emotions and understand the root of somebody's emotion, we should take some time to think about ourselves and think about the root of our pain and our emotions, and that makes it easy for us to deal with life and deal with life's issues. So that's all I would
Go to
say.
the root of the problem.
Yes, go to the root of the problem.
Interesting. Thank you, ladies, so much. It's been great listening to you both talk on this topic. Felicity couldn't join us. She had an emergency, so I apologize to all of you for promising that she would be here. We hope that she joins us next time. But ladies, I need to tell you this. So, last time we discussed why men cheat. I've had so many men coming at me saying that the women came and gave a skewed angle
to why women cheat.
to why women cheat. So they want to come to the studio.
Hey, yeah.
They want to come to the studio
They should tell us
to
why.
tell us why they believe
Women cheat.
cheat. Okay. So I need your permission.
Totally granted. It will be a fun topic
Exactly.
to listen to.
So we should let them come.
Oh, yes.
Do you ladies want to join them or just them?
No, I
We
think
should
there's
let them
some
come and
ladies.
talk.
There's some ladies who want to join. I think it will be very interesting.
And
So
that's one lady, but the majority of the
One
panel should
lady.
be men.
Yeah.
So we should let the men come.
Yes, let the men come to
Come and
tell us why they think women cheat.
women cheat.
Yes.
Okay.
If you can have
I'll
like a
put-
Steve Harvey kind of man who will tell us why women cheat, that would be kind
A
of good.
Steve Harvey kind of man.
Yes.
For example,
A-
who
a
in the
man
Ghana
who-
setting?
The man who thinks, who in the Ghana setting? Uncle Abel White.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad, yeah.
Okay. PG Sebastian.
PG Sebastian too is really good. Yeah.
So
He's really good.
Abu and Abekus is in your court now. You agree? Prove him. You know what? I'm going to ask our men listening if you want to join our panel. Hashtag us strong and sassy on Twitter. Just one line. Tell us why you think women cheat. We'll go through the tweets and then we'll invite you to the studio to join us. Maybe next week, maybe next 2 weeks, or when I'm comfortable to have you, I'll let you know. I would let you know. All right. This has been Strong and Sassy live on Joy 99.7 FM. Special thanks to Abeku and Abu, my producers, and also to Selwyn, the man on the social media desk. My name is Na Ashoko. Up next, Sammy Forcing will bring us the overdrive. But NS Menu is here with the news.